They should rename
Yeah.
the label like from recreational to just retail.
Right.
It does
Yeah.
come with a
That would be,
weird vibe.
that would also help with the stigma of that for sure.
That's a good point. That's a really interesting distinction there. And, I just think there's some people that just aren't going to be convinced no matter what. And that's fine. You can't change everyone's mind. And it's just exhausting exercise to try and do so.
I mean, but how would you deal with making that distinction, right? Because it's the same product. It's just being sold to different people in the population.
Right. Unless I get into the potencies and stuff like that. And then you get into what's real medical marijuana. Do you have AIDS? Do you have cancer? Yeah, I totally get the 500 milligram doses at that point. But I think there's a mental health aspect of it that a lot of people use recreational cannabis for. And I'm one of those. I actually just got my med card last week just because I travel so much and I go into medical states where I'm not allowed to actually get into the dispensary of my customer unless I have a med card. So I just got it out of necessity. But I've been, medicating myself on cannabis for honestly, since I was in high school. I just don't think there's enough of a distinction between what is medical and what is recreational. I do have medical conditions, physical medical conditions. I have a degenerative disc that I could have qualified for a long time ago, but I just didn't really see the need to do so. Honestly, I'd rather pay higher taxes because I like what they're doing with the taxes. I almost felt like by getting a medical card, I'm cheating the system.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I'm all for showing the capitalist nature of cannabis towards legalization, which I think is the way to do it, to be honest. It's kind of, it's blunt, but it's true. Like that's one of the big things that Kyle Sherman, our CEO, says. And he's like, look, we're not going to change a lot of people's minds unless we show them that there's a capitalistic side to this. You go ahead and you change the laws through capitalism, and it's true.
I am a big old leftist liberal guy, but in a lot of ways, I feel like the only way for the cannabis industry to be successful is to allow the more money that's being made by people like a friend of a friend makes his money in weed. Eventually, we'll reach a point where the societal expectation of weed isn't so weirdly associated with rebellious teenagers and more with the medical and the psychiatric medical effects that cannabis brings.
Absolutely, 100%.